All right, so real talk, if you're thinking about moving to Folsom, California, this city can either be the perfect Sacramento suburb or a place that looks absolutely amazing on paper but crushes your dreams and your budgets if you're thinking about moving to the Sacramento metro.
Because look, Folsom has incredible schools, insane outdoor access, and that clean master plan everything just works by. But it also comes with some serious trade-offs that most people don't realize until after they've already moved here. So today we're breaking down 10 real pros and 10 real cons of living in Folsom in 2026. No fluff, no sugarcoating, just the truth.
So if you're deciding between Folsom, Roseville, Rocklin, or Elk Grove, or anywhere else in the Sacramento area, this video is going to save you a ton of time, money, and honestly, potential regret.
So let's jump in. All right, pro number one, the outdoor scene is unreal. All right, let's start with the biggest reason people fall in love with Folsom. The outdoor recreation here is absolutely ridiculous. You've got Folsom Lake State Recreation Area, and this isn't just some small neighborhood park. We're talking about 19,500 acres with about 75 miles of shoreline. So what does this actually mean for you? It means that you've got immediate access to two major bodies of water, Folsom Lake and Lake Natoma. At Folsom Lake, you can do pretty much everything: boating, water skiing, fishing, and we're not talking catch and release only. You're fishing for trout, catfish, largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, perch, and even salmon. There are designated swimming beaches like Granite Bay and Beals Point where families go all summer long. Then you've got 95 miles of multi-use trails throughout the recreation area. Mountain biking, hiking, trail running, even horseback riding if that's your thing. And here's what's crazy. There are multiple boat launches, campgrounds with full hookups, equestrian staging areas. This is legitimately a year-round outdoor playground. Then you've got Lake Natoma, which is right behind me. It's calmer and flatter. It's perfect for rowing, kayaking, or paddleboarding, or those early morning workouts where you actually want some peace and quiet. And then on top of all of that, you've got the Jedediah Smith Memorial Trail. This is a 32-mile paved trail that connects Folsom Lake all the way to Old Sacramento. You can bike or walk or run for miles without ever touching a road. No stoplights, no traffic, just continuous trail. And if you're someone who actually values being outside, not just saying you like hiking, but actually getting out there before work, after work, on weekends, Folsom absolutely crushes it. This is one of those places where people are legitimately done with their workout by 8 a.m. and still make it to work by 9. That lifestyle here is real. Okay, con number one, it's expensive. Time for some reality. Folsom is expensive. Folsom's overall cost of living exceeds the US average by more than 20%. Some estimates put it in the top 6% most expensive cities globally. As of January 2026, the median home value is somewhere between $745,000 and $763,000, depending on which data source you're looking at. But here's the thing, that's just the median. A lot of neighborhoods are substantially higher. Willow Springs averages about $874,000, Prairie Oaks is around $816,000, Lexington Hills is about $830,000. Luxury areas like Empire Ranch and Lakeview Oaks, you're commonly over $1 million. This makes Folsom one of the pricier Sacramento area suburbs. Now, if you're coming from the Bay Area, this might feel reasonable. You might look at $750,000 house and think, that's a steal compared to what I'm selling. But if you're coming from other parts of Sacramento, or you're a first-time buyer, or you're relocating from out of state, yeah, sticker shock is real. Rent isn't cheap here either. Average apartments are running for $2,000 to $2,500 per month as of early 2026. Now, this is not an entry-level suburb. You need to come in with a solid financial foundation.
All right, so before we jump into the pros and cons, let me give you a quick overview about Folsom and why it's one of the most desirable suburbs in the entire Sacramento area. Folsom sits just about 25 miles east of downtown Sacramento, right on the eastern edge of the metro area. So you're looking about a 30-minute commute into downtown Sacramento during normal traffic and about 35 to 40 minutes to Sacramento International Airport. But here's what makes Folsom so special. You got the perfect combination of top-tier schools, low crime, tons of outdoor recreation, and newer mass master plan communities. Folsom Cordova Unified consistently ranks as one of the best school districts in all of Northern California. Crime rates are about 1/3 of the California average, and you've got Folsom Lake State Recreational Area literally in your backyard, 19,500 acres of outdoor paradise. Plus, the location is money. You're 90 minutes to Lake Tahoe and about 2 hours from the Bay Area, and it's why families pay a premium to live here. So now let's break down the real pros and cons. And by the way, if this is your first time watching the channel, we're Lance and Lauren with the Living in Sacramento team, where we help people relocate to Folsom and the entire Greater Sacramento area. We get calls, texts, emails literally every single week from people moving from the Bay Area in Southern California or even out of state. And they're trying to figure out where they should actually live, not just what looks good online. Now, if that's you and you're thinking about making the move to Sacramento in 2026, all of our contact information is going to be down in the description, pinned in the chat, or you can go ahead and scan the QR code and book your one-on-one free strategy session, and we'll help you put together a game plan before you ever hop on a plane. Now, jumping into pro number 2, it's going to be the school district here. The schools are legit, and this is hands down the #1 reason why families choose Folsom. Folsom Cordova Unified consistently ranks as one of the top performing districts in all of Northern California, and I'm not just throwing around marketing language here. Let me give you the actual numbers. 85% English language arts proficiency, 58% in math, their average SAT score is a 1330, their average ACT score is a 29, and their graduation rate is a 96%. Those numbers are way above the state average. Then you've got Folsom Middle School, which ranks in the top 5.9 of all of California middle schools in the entire state. Then you have elementary schools like Empire Oaks, Gold Ridge, Sandra Gallardo. They regularly are 9s and 10s out of the state rankings. Now, the important thing here is it's not just about the test scores, but it's also about parent involvement. It's the extracurriculars, it's the sports programs, it's the overall academic culture in the city of Folsom. When you drive through Folsom, you see it. Parents are engaged, kids are involved, the school parking lots are packed for events. Now, if schools are higher on your list, and for most families with kids they are, Folsom is really tough to beat in the Sacramento area. Let's talk about the weather again, but this time from the downside. Yes, Folsom has beautiful Mediterranean climate most of the year, but the summers are hot. July and August regularly see highs of 95 to 96 degrees, and a lot of the days exceed 100. The hot season lasts about 3.4 months from June through September, but the average daily highs are right around that 86 degree mark. Now, recent years have been particularly brutal. Sacramento recorded 41 days over 100 degrees in 2022 versus a 23-day average. There was a 9-day stretch that it hit an all-time high of 116 degrees. First Street Foundation estimates Folsom experiences about 7 days a year that feel like temperatures of 103 degrees. Now, what does that mean for you particularly? Air conditioning is not optional. Your summer electric bills are going to be high, and your outdoor activities, you're planning your life around early mornings or late evenings and staying indoors from about 1 to 6 p.m. Now, if you're a heat person or you've never lived somewhere with this kind of sustained summer heat, it's something that you need to take seriously.
All right, now let's talk about work, because one thing we hear people asking all the time is Folsom just a super quiet community? Do I have to commute into Sacramento or the Bay Area for work? And the answer is no. Folsom has a legitimate, diverse economic base. Now, yes, Folsom has historically been a major tech and healthcare hub. Intel used to employ over 6,000 people here. That number has come down to around 4,000 as of 2025 due to some corporate downsizing. But here's what people don't realize. Other companies have been moving into that vacated Intel space. We're talking Samsung, Qualcomm, and other tech companies stepping in to maintain the region's tech employment base here. Major employers are still operating in Folsom, which include Intel, Micron Technology, Power School, which is a huge education software company, Safe Credit Union, Mercy Hospital of Folsom. You also have Kikkoman Foods and Agilent Technologies. Over 53% of Folsom's workforce is employed in management, business science, and arts occupations. Another 24% work in sales and office roles. This is a high-skilled professional economy. This is not a super quiet community where everyone leaves town at 7 a.m. and comes back at 7 p.m. Folsom has a real employment base, and that matters for the local economy, the sense of community, and honestly, your quality of life. All right, con number 3, traffic is getting worse. Folsom is growing and the traffic is starting to show it. The commute from Folsom to downtown Sacramento, it can range anywhere from 30 minutes in light traffic to 40 or 50 minutes depending on rush hour. Now, Highway 50 can get backed up. You've got major arterials like East Bidwell, Blue Ravine, and Folsom Boulevard, which face particularly severe congestion around school start and end times, 7:30 to 8:30 in the morning specifically. Now, Folsom's overall average commute time is about 22 minutes, which is actually below the national average. But peak hour delays are real, and as development continues, traffic is becoming a more prominent concern here. So if you work in downtown Sacramento and you have flexibility with your schedule, you can work around it. But if you're locked into a 9 to 5 with rigid start times, just know that timing definitely matters.
All right, now let's talk about pro number 4, which is actually going to be the weather here. Now, Folsom has a Mediterranean climate, which means you're actually getting about 260 to 270 days every single year. Winters are mild, average lows from December through February hover around 40 to 41 degrees, and it barely drops below freezing. Snow is essentially non-existent here, and that means that you can stay active outdoors all year round. You're not hibernating from November to March like other parts of the country. Spring and fall are absolutely beautiful here. You're looking at temperatures in the 60s and the 70s, which is perfect for hiking, biking, being outside with the family, and the region gets most of its rainfall between November and March. And from June through September, nearly zero precipitation. So we've already talked about the summer heat being brutal here, but outside those July and August months, the weather here is legitimately fantastic. You can actually be outside almost every single day of the year if you want to. That's a huge quality of life factor. All right, con number 4 about Folsom is you definitely pay a premium to live here. Now here's the thing about Folsom. You can often get more house for less money in other Sacramento suburbs. Folsom's median home values are about $200,000 to $300,000 higher than many of the neighboring communities. So if you compare Folsom's mid $700,000 median to Roseville, Rocklin, or even Elk Grove, the difference is significant. Now the premium pricing reflects Folsom's school qualities, amenities, safety, and overall prestige. So for a lot of people, it's absolutely worth it. But for others, especially first-time homebuyers, people are already stretching their budget to live in California, and it can price you out. Now you definitely have to ask yourself, are the schools, the outdoor access, the community vibe worth paying $150,000 to $200,000 more than Roseville or Rocklin? For some families, the answer is yes, and for others, it's 100% not.
Let's talk about retail dining. Folsom has 2 main areas that really stand out. First, you've got Palladio at Broadstone. This is Folsom's premier lifestyle center with over 100 stores, more than 30 restaurants, a luxe movie theater, frequent live entertainment. The Palladio Parkway complex has big national retailers like Nordstrom Rack, Whole Foods, Barnes & Noble, and Sephora. Now for dining, you've got Yard House, Shake Shack, Korean barbecue, Iron Horse Tavern, and a solid mix of chain and local spots. Then you've got historic Folsom on Sutter Street, which is where I'm at right now. And this is a completely different vibe. This is boutique shopping and dining in preserved Gold Rush era buildings, locally owned wine bars, steakhouses, art galleries, specialty shops. Year round, you've got farmers markets, summer concerts at the Zittle Family Amphitheater, seasonal festivals. It's not San Francisco or LA, but for a suburb, Folsom punches way above its weight in terms of walkable, high quality retail and dining experiences. Now on the flip, if nightlife matters to you, Folsom is quiet. Historic Folsom has some bars like Powerhouse Pub, Folsom Hotel Saloon, Gaslight Co., Jaeger Lodge, but the overall scene is pretty modest. Now, if you're in your early 20s and you're looking for clubs, late night venues, a younger bar scene, you're probably gonna wanna drive to Midtown or downtown Sacramento. Now, Palladio has dining and a movie theater, but it's not a nightlife destination. Folsom is family-oriented, not nightlife-focused, which is great if you're raising kids or you value a quieter lifestyle. But if you want big city nightlife, you'll be making the drive into Sacramento proper.
Now, if you've ever visited Folsom or you've lived here, what surprised you the most about this list so far? Good or bad, drop it in the comments. Your experience might actually help someone else make the right decision. Pro number 6 is it's safe and it's clean. Folsom consistently ranks as one of the safer suburbs in the entire Sacramento region. Crime rates here are approximately 1/3 of the California state average, and that's a huge deal. Data from Neighborhood Scout shows an overall crime rate of about 20 to 40 incidents per 1,000 residents, with a violent crime risk about 1 in 410. So those figures place Folsom substantially below the California urban areas and many of the suburban areas. So incomparable to other high-income Sacramento suburbs like Roseville or Rocklin, you feel it when you drive around. Clean streets, maintained parks, well-lit neighborhoods, there's a sense of order and safety that a lot of families really value, and especially if you're moving from a bigger city or an area with higher crime, that peace of mind matters a lot. Con number 6 is Folsom is suburban, which means you're driving everywhere. About 69% of Folsom residents commute by car. You'll drive to the grocery store, to work, your kids' activities, to restaurants. Now, there is a light rail and a bus service that takes you into downtown Sacramento, but let's be real, the city's layout is spread out and low-density suburban development is separated by residential, commercial, and employment entertainment zones. Public transit exists, but cars dominate your daily life. If you're somebody who values walkability or relying on public transit, Folsom is probably not your best fit.
All right, pro number 7, lots of newer homes. If you like newer construction, Folsom definitely delivers. A lot of homes here were built from the late 90s through the 2020s in master plan communities. We're talking open floor plans, energy efficiency, HOA maintained amenities, parks and trails built right into the neighborhood design. Places like Folsom Ranch, Empire Ranch, Lakeview Oaks, Willow Springs, Broadstone. These neighborhoods include community parks, walking paths, pools, proximity to retail centers. It's all designed for convenience and modern living. Now, if you're coming from an older neighborhood in Sacramento or the Bay Area where homes were built in the 60s or 70s, the difference is night and day. These newer developments offer that turnkey appeal that you're not immediately dealing with deferred maintenance, outdated systems, or major renovation projects. All right, con number 7, wildfire smoke is a real thing. Wildfire season impacts Folsom some years. When fires burn in Sacramento County or the nearby Sierra foothills, you get days of poor air quality and smoky skies. Now, in September of 2025, multiple fires across Sacramento County created smoky skies and air quality alerts, recommending sensitive groups limit outdoor exposure. Now, while Folsom met federal ozone standards by 2024, climate projections indicate an increase in fire weather days across Northern California. It's not constant and it's not every year, but it's something to know, especially if you or someone in your family has asthma or respiratory issues.
All right, pro number 8, and that's gonna be the location. Folsom sits in a really sweet spot geographically. You're about 25 miles east of downtown Sacramento. You're on the eastern edge of the metro, which means you're actually close to a lot of urban amenities, but you're almost positioned perfectly for all of the mountain recreation. You can reach Lake Tahoe ski resorts in about 90 minutes. The Sierra Nevada foothills are under an hour away. San Francisco Bay Area is roughly 2 hours away depending on traffic. Mountain cities, wine country, all totally doable for day trips and weekend getaways. This positioning gives you access to both urban life and the outdoor adventure while maintaining that suburban quality of life. Now, con number 8 is going to be the seasonal allergies. Regional pollen combined with occasional wildfire smoke and ozone creates challenging conditions for people with allergies and asthma. You've got agricultural pollen from the Central Valley, urban ozone, and seasonal wildfire smoke. Air quality advisories often recommend sensitive groups limit outdoor activity, especially during some of these high pollen days. Now, if you have seasonal allergies, you know that the Sacramento region, being that it was formerly known as the City of Trees, and Folsom can be very tough during these times of years for certain people with breathing conditions.
Folsom punches way above its weight with community events and that small town feel. You've got the Folsom Pro Rodeo Thursday night markets on Sutter Street during the summer that draw thousands of people every week. You've got holiday parades, neighborhood concerts, farmers markets, craft fairs, family-friendly festivals year-round. Now, despite the suburban growth, Folsom has managed to maintain this tight-knit community atmosphere. People here actually show up to these events. Neighbors know each other. There's genuine community pride. It genuinely feels connected in a way that a lot of suburbs don't. All right, con number 9. Yes, there are prisons here. Yes, Folsom has prisons. Now, Folsom State Prison opened in 1880. California State Prison, Sacramento, opened in 1986. They're both located in Folsom, with the latter facility housing maximum security inmates. Combined, these facilities employ over 1,000 people and are listed among major regional employers. Now, the facilities are secure, staffed, and Folsom maintains low crime rates. There's no safety issue here, but some newcomers and prospective residents report feeling uneasy about living near well-known correctional institutions. It's worth mentioning because it does come up in conversation, even though it doesn't impact day-to-day safety or quality of life.
All right, and the last pro on our list, pro number 10, is everything just works. Folsom regularly ranks high overall for livability because everything just works. Schools are excellent, crime is low, parks are well maintained, jobs are available locally. There's a consistency here that's really powerful. In 2016, a survey named Folsom the best place to raise a family, and the city maintains strong ratings across multiple quality of life metrics. That combination of excellent schools, low crime, robust employment, and recreational access, it all adds up to a place where day-to-day life is pretty much smooth. All right, and for our last and final con, for con number 10, it's Folsom is not for everyone. And here's the biggest con. Folsom is not for everyone. If you want walkable urban living, vibrant nightlife, or significantly lower prices, you might be happier somewhere else. Folsom is a suburban, family-oriented, higher-cost community with hot summers and a car-dependent lifestyle. So for the right person, it's absolutely perfect. For others, it's not the right fit.
So the question you need to ask yourself, is Folsom, California still a great place to live in 2026? For the right person, absolutely. But the key is knowing why you're choosing it and what you're giving up.
So if you're thinking about moving to Folsom, California, or anywhere in the Greater Sacramento region, reach out. We help people compare options, neighborhoods, price points, and lifestyles before you make a move that you can't undo. So as always, we are licensed real estate agents in the state of California, which means that as much as we love making these videos, we actually love helping you more with all of your real estate needs. So that phone number is going to be popping up. We are the ones that answer every phone call, email, and text message, and absolutely love it when you guys reach out to us. So give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us that email, or better yet, schedule that one-on-one Zoom call so we can figure out your needs, your wants, your goals, your must-haves, and put together a game plan that's going to help you make that move to the Greater Sacramento Metro in 2026.